Agent, we've had time to think since reuniting the Killik colony. Not that our work hasn't kept us busy, but we didn't actually thank you for allowing our pilgrimage. You should come with us next time.
We'll pack some rations and go sightseeing on strange planets. Just say when.
We're glad to have friends with a sense of adventure. In any case, we should get back to work. We promised Kalia we'd keep the hatchlings away from her quarters, which means some training is in order.
Cleo hasn't said much about you. Everything going all right?
After some early missteps, we're learning to tolerate one another. We no longer invite her to Dejaric games. She no longer spits in our tea. Give us a few months. We've negotiated with worse.
How are things, Vector?
Agent, when we communed with the other nests, we saw a force for change in the galaxy. There are Killiks as large as starships and as small as mites, joiners from 100 species on 1,000 worlds. We mean to report on the Killik colony to the diplomatic service.
You transferred out of the diplomatic service. It's not your responsibility.
We still serve the Empire, and our former superiors are in the best position to help. If the service can make entreaties to the colony, if we make them an ally, we'll have a foothold in the unknown regions. We'd have access to Killik craftsmanship, joiner information. Even without their military support, they would be invaluable.
I agree, but why bother with the diplomatic service when we could pull the strings ourselves?
An alliance built on manipulations can't last. We've done so before and seen the consequences. This needs to happen with the backing of those in power. And it needs to happen before someone else finds the colony.
Convincing the service, let alone the Sith, to support this won't be easy.
We're well aware of that, Agent. But there was a time when this was our life. We believe in it, and we'll find a way. Agent, we heard back from the diplomatic service about our proposed alliance with the Killik colony. Our report was soundly ignored. It seems we have less credibility than we thought.
You don't sound very concerned.
A colleague named Fulner Eth sent the update on our report along with a message. He wants us to call him, accompanied by our handler. We believe he means you.
You worked with him in the diplomatic service?
Not directly. Eth spent his time with ex-Republic worlds, while our speciality was first contact. We met several times at conferences and the like, but we wouldn't say we knew him. This should prove interesting.
Master Hillis, I'm so glad you got my message. How are you? How's Anya?
Anora. We haven't seen her in some time, but we hear she's well. And your son?
I'm stationed on Balmora, still hoping to join the Shadow Fist. And you must be the handler. It's a privilege to meet you. I want you to know I wouldn't try anything without your approval, but I'm hoping you'll loan out Vector to me.
Tell me your proposal and I'll see what we can do.
My superiors don't see the wisdom in Vector's advice. I do, yet I lack the authority to force the issue.
Someone is blocking you?
Tarab, Sabini, the usual crew. If I'm to win them over, I need influence. Vector, with your ties from the service and the colony's knowledge, I could amass a string of victories. And the more I succeed through your consultations, the better chance your Killik Imperial Alliance comes to pass.
What's your take on all this?
He wants us to play politics, but that is how things are accomplished.
Perceptive man. I'll be in touch with specifics.
We appreciate your help, Agent. We'll make it worthwhile, to you, to the Empire, and to the colony. Agent, you recall we spoke to the diplomatic service about building an alliance between Empire and Killiks? Fulner Eth, the man who offered his backing in return for our assistance, has asked us for his first favor.
You can't tell me you don't have doubts about him.
Of course we do. But we don't have another option. Fulner wants our notes on various families and unaligned worlds in the Questal sector. He means to bring that sector into the Empire. We worked in Questel a long while, and we knew its people well. It's odd to see someone else take the reins.
You don't talk about your old life.
We don't often have a reason to think about it. We do miss negotiating, reaching out to understand people, synthesizing their needs. Dizana of the Lesai Nest says that desire makes us a better joiner. It's only small comfort.
I remember her. I didn't know you two were in contact.
Through the unseen emissaries that travel with us, we hear her voice from time to time. But that isn't relevant now. We'll give Fulner what he wants, for the sake of the Empire and the colony.
You wanted something, Vector?
We do not neglect our duties. We are Dawn Herald. We do this for the Nest. Agent, we've had another request from Fulner Eth, our ally inside the diplomatic service. We need to take a short leave.
Are you taking orders from the diplomatic service now?
Of course not, but we'd like to maintain an amiable relationship. Fulner's stock is rising, but he needs further acclaim before he can push for a Killik Imperial alliance. He's asked us to visit a former Republic governor named Yoganath Anoth and win his cooperation by turning him into a joiner.
He joins the Nest, you learn everything he knows, and share it with the Empire. You can't blame Fulner for asking.
We'd hoped Fulner wanted us for our diplomatic skills, not for this. The joining should be a gift, but we will find a way.
I don't care how you handle it. Finish this up and get back to the ship as soon as possible.
As you wish.
You're back. Did you find your man?
We spoke to the Republic governor. If you'll join us, we'll report the details to Fulner Eth.
My friends, it's been too long.
Fulner, we assume you've heard from Thenoth.
He contacted me from an Imperial transport. Apparently we promised to work with him. Not what I requested, but the service can make do.
There was no need to make him a joiner when he was amenable to discussion.
Now you have what you wanted. But we can destroy your reputation just as easily.
I'm well aware of your capabilities. You kept your promise. Thenoth's assistance resulted in my promotion. I will keep my promise to you. Some important people are waiting, Vector. They're very interested in a potential Killik alliance.
You arranged this?
As soon as I knew we could work together. Check the data I'm streaming to your main console.
Thank you, Fulner. Excuse us a moment, Agent.
It's like talking to a bug wearing a man's skin. I don't know how you stand it.
Vector creeps everyone out still. You get used to it. And the Killiks are quite a resource.
Those creatures are anathema to everything the Empire stands for. There's no place for great men in a hive mind. Only animal instinct. I'll be relieved when you people finish this scheme and get rid of the colony for good.
Agent, they listened. They don't understand yet, but they listened. The diplomatic service has requested my aid and wants to initiate relations with the colony.
Congratulations, Vector. You might get your alliance after all.
We're a long way from that, but we can hope. We thank you, Agent. As a friend, and as Dawn Herald, we've begun something good. Agent, we received a small gift from the diplomatic service in appreciation of our work with the Killiks. A package of wine, meat and breadfruit, all imported from the colony worlds. Not inexpensive, and a bit extravagant during wartime.
Check the package for listening devices. I don't need the diplomatic service spying on us.
Already done, but we'll double-check. In the meantime, you're welcome to help yourself. We may as well enjoy the taste of progress.
What do you have for me?
Encouraging news. Watch.
Dawn Herald, forgive the message, but our emissaries were out of reach and we couldn't wait to link with you. Imperial scout ships entered colony space and made contact yesterday. We traded in Membrosia, silk, and star maps. We could smell the men's fright, but they left in peace. Perhaps you were right after all.
A long way from a signed treaty, but it's a start.
You and that joiner seem to get along.
Dazana is a nestmate, and we find her insight illuminating. We're in touch with the diplomatic service as well. There's still resistance, but we're progressing. Killiks and Imperials may share space in our lifetime.
What's going on?
Agent, in our work with the diplomatic service, we find ourselves talking to people we once knew. We've been contemplating this.
Hello, Vector. It's Honora. I don't know if you remember me, but Bryson said he thought you would, and I wanted to talk to you. I know things didn't end well, but I never forgot. You need to get out of there. Come back to Drummond Cast and we'll get you help. We can undo what the Killiks did. There are still people who care about you.
We've watched it 17 times and meditated to the static.
You two used to be a couple?
We were nearly engaged to Honora very long ago. We never considered that there are people who want us restored to what we were. But watching this, feeling nothing, we know we're no longer who we were when we loved her.
If your relations with the diplomatic service are causing problems, I can cut you off.
That's not necessary. We had to know if our reaction was unnatural, but we don't think it is. We are content. It is done, Agent. We can scent the pulse of your heart. We can taste particles of solar radiation bead like dew on our lips. We have undergone the chrysalis of tranquility, and we are reborn.
You've never mentioned this chrysalis of tranquility?
The chrysalis is a ritual of the Dawn Herald. It makes us stronger, better able to face the enemies of the nest, and enhances our link to the universe. You've brought us this far, and we will fight alongside you. We have news, Agent. We've been conferring lately with the ambassadors, moffs, speakers for the Sith, all with their own agendas and concerns, none with any love for the Killiks. But we swayed a few, and found ways around others. Now the diplomatic service has agreed to seek a treaty.
You convinced these people all on your own?
We've been a diplomat longer than we've been Dawn Herald. Some of the nests are still reluctant, Horro and Manam in particular, but all parties involved have agreed to a summit. We'll preside over the negotiations ourselves.
Any idea what sort of treaty we could end up with?
We expect a military alliance is off the table, but a non-aggression pact is possible, as are agreements on trade and territory. Imagine. Colony and Imperial representatives in one room. It shall be interesting. Agent, we've been speaking to the nests in preparation for the Killik Imperial Summit. They're so much in tune with their biology. The Colossalok are warriors as large as houses, and they're convinced the Empire should be crushed. But the Saras are weavers and shapers, and they're eager to trade.
So long as you don't start a war, we don't need bantha-sized Killiks marching on Drummond Cast.
We are mindful of that concern, having seen the Colossalok dreams. We should return to our preparations. We'll talk later. We are set, Agent. Preparations for the Killik Imperial Summit are underway, and the first ambassadors are arriving on site. We're meeting on Alderaan, in the House of Thule. We couldn't think of a more appropriate place.
You could have picked somewhere not in the middle of a war.
Sadly, we're not sure that's true anymore. Though it does relate to a favor we'd like to ask. More than any other Imperial, you've seen the nests and how they function. Your word could carry weight. Before we leave, we'd appreciate your honest assessment. One final report that we can present to the Imperial Summit attendees.
An alliance with the Killiks would benefit the Empire immensely, and I'm not afraid to say so. I'll have a report to you by the time you reach Alderaan.
We look forward to it. Agent, the summit is over. It was not without incident. Diazana of the Lesai Nest is dead.
I'm sorry to hear it. I know you felt a connection to Diazana.
Yes, we did. Fulna Eth, our contact in the diplomatic service, attempted to sabotage the proceedings. Diazana was caught in an explosion, saving an ambassador. And when we traced it to Fulna, he had a speech prepared.
Damn you! Listen to them. Do you want to ally the Empire with these creatures? Everything they do defies what we stand for. The Killiks are an abomination. Our empire is based on the notion that a great individual rises to the top, and the lesser masses follow. The Killik hive mind devours greatness, absorbs every possibility into a mire of primal instinct.
We found his words troubling, and his actions more so.
I expect that didn't help the talks.
No, but we reconvened after Fulna was gone. The colony allows billions of Killiks and joiners to serve something greater, the Nest consciousness. Just as Imperials serve the Sith and the Emperor. That is what we told the others. That is how we signed the treaty between the Empire and the Killiks.
In a few years, you may regret not listening to Fulna.
Possible, but we don't think it likely. Both sides will open their borders to trade. Protocols will be set for military and diplomatic contact. You and Diazana, even Fulna, you all brought us to this point. Our future is hopeful.
Next thing you know, there'll be Killiks selling Membrosia in Cast City.
Let us dream, Agent. We end a verse in the Song of the Universe. Soon, we will hear another.
Vector, what's going on?
It's strange. Since the summit, our mind keeps drifting back to diplomacy, but we have nowhere to apply our skills. Still, we should be grateful Killik-Imperial relations are going well. And it's time we rededicated ourselves to your work.
Making allies is vital to what we do. I need you as a diplomat more than I need a soldier.
We don't intend to stop being a diplomat. We've been privileged over these past months. Until opportunity comes again, on to the less glamorous job we signed up for.
Yes, Vector?
Agent, we'll never be a great spy or covert assault operative. But you've helped us to be a diplomat and a Dawn Herald. You've been a brother to us, and we're thankful for your guidance.
Any reason you mention this now?
We received a message from the Killiks. The colony embraces the Imperial Alliance, and offered us the chance to become Dawn Herald to all nests. We refused, as our priorities are clear. We'll work with you and defend your legacy until the end.
Being the only Gand around can't have been fun. Did the enlistment officers know what to do with you?
Hey, come here. This is going to be hilarious. Remember the credits I brought in from that old weapons sale? Those were from my second buyer. The first guy I lined up wasn't offering as much as I liked, so I bailed on him. Cheap jerk is all worked up that I sold him to someone else. He's trying to put a scare in me.
I don't have time for this, Vic.
Too late. I'm getting him on the line now. Guy's name is Red Hand Magarin. He runs a few guns. Thinks he's a real tough guy. Hey there, Red.
My guns, Vic. Where are they?
Well, I was having a chat with my new boss, the commander of Havoc Squad, and we decided to go with another buyer.
If that's the commander of Havoc Squad, I'm the king of Alderaan. I want those guns, Vic.
I don't know anything about any weapons deals.
I hope Vic's paying you good to get on my nerves. When you back out on a deal with me, there are consequences, Vic. I'll be seeing you.
Uh-oh, consequences. I hope I don't lose any sleep.
I can't believe he thought we'd be scared of him.
No joke. I'm glad we didn't do business with him. We'd look stupid. Come on. Let's find something else to do.
I'm sorry. I don't know what Xavier Juna means. Is there any way I can lend a hand? Yeah, you do that. Sure. It's great to hear that things went well, Yoon.
So, turns out Red Hand Magarin isn't just an idiot with a chip on his shoulder about that weapons deal I bailed on. He's also an idiot with a lot of bounty hunters on call. He's put a price on my head. I need to take care of it.
How exactly are you going to take care of this?
A few kilos of beradium should do the trick. Magarin's office is on Nar Shaddaa. I still know a few people there who don't want me dead, so this shouldn't take long. Once Magarin's settled, we'll be good to go again.
I could back you up if you want.
Nah, I've been through this a couple of times before. It'll go faster solo. Thanks, though. Be back later. Hey, boss. Everything's cleared up. No more price on my head. Well, no one to pay it anyway.
I'd better not have to hear about anything like this again.
What are you so worked up about? You didn't even have to do anything. I found some of Magarin's files while I was picking through the wreckage afterward. Figured they might come in handy. I'll let you know if I spot anything interesting.
You're a good friend and a good comrade, Yoon.
I've been looking over the customer files from Magarin's office. The guy really didn't know how to run an outfit. When you're selling guns, you always get the money up front. You only take installments from customers you can grab when they don't pay. Magarin had installment customers all over the galaxy, and, big surprise, a lot of them never paid off their bills. Amateur.
I'm surprised Magarin would hire people to go after you, but not his debtors.
You only wanted me dead, and hired killers come cheap these days. Good debt collectors are expensive. You actually have to trust them. There are credits to be made. People owed Magarin. I took him down, which means his stuff is my stuff now. Well, sorry, our stuff. Everyone who owed him owes me now. I'll look through the lists, find the big debts, and collect, and give you a reasonable cut. How's that sound?
You really think people will pay?
I think we can persuade just about anyone to pay up. I have to tell you, boss, I'm impressed. I wasn't sure I'd like coming back to the army, but it's worked out great. Mostly thanks to you.
Stop. You're making me misty.
Yeah, very moving stuff. I've worked with a lot of people over the years. Stupid, greedy people I cut loose as soon as I could. But you, actually useful. Even taught me a thing or two in a fight. It's a nice change.
Being nice won't make me trust you, Vic.
You're no fool, boss. That's why I like you. Come on, let's get back to that war I keep hearing about. Found our first customer, boss. An Alderaanian noble named Albrecht. He was into Magarin for quite a few credits. Once I work out the final details, it's all ours.
Magarin's files didn't have everything we need?
Not gonna chance it. With Alderaan as torn up as it is, it's best to do some research first. I've got a good feeling about this, boss. I think this might just be the best plan I've ever been part of. Long as we're not kicked out of the military, we'll do pretty well for ourselves.
What got you kicked out before?
I don't remember half the list of charges. You know me. Like to keep busy. The last straw was a protection racket I ran while I was stationed on Talay. It was really fun while it lasted. The plan only worked for a few weeks before someone whined to the higher-ups. I was the ringleader, so I took most of the heat.
Sounds sloppy. Don't let it happen again.
I wasn't the one who messed up on Talay, and I won't be messing up here. I'll let you know when everything's lined up. Then I'll go pay the noble Lord Albrecht a visit. Everything's ready, boss. I've got Lord Albrecht's location on Alderaan and all of the files that prove the debt. I just have to walk in, show the files, act tough, and we can both become a little bit richer.
This goes against everything we stand for, Vic.
It doesn't go against anything I stand for. See you when I've got the credits. That was ridiculous. Turns out there's two Lord Albrechts. A father-son team. A crazy old man and stuck-up little punk team, really. Neither of them had a single credit, and both of them had promised to sell the guns to 3 different buyers apiece.
Just more reasons you never should have tried to pull something like this.
Oh, I pulled it off. It took a lot of wrangling, but I managed to get those 2 saps into the same room with all of their buyers. Then I lobbed a couple of grenades in. Most of the buyers' credits were still in one piece afterward, so I'm calling it a win.
You murdered 8 people just for some credits?
Nah, there were more than that. The buyers wouldn't show up without muscle after all. Let's hope the next rundown isn't so tough. The stress might ruin my looks. All right, boss, you got me. Working together like we've been doing, it's a gold mine. If you're up for making this a long-term arrangement, then count me in.
I'm retiring someday, Vic.
Retirement's expensive, boss. More reason to work together and get you a big pile of credits stashed somewhere. Not a mark in the galaxy that can handle both of us, boss. Let's get out there and make some credits.
Murder is simple. To truly devastate your enemies, you must learn to crush their hope. pledged your life to me, Brunmark. Don't ever forget that.
What did Mako have to say? It sounds dangerous, Blizz.
Wama otoja koga utapawa du bambawula. Meet your finger la. Mambe.
So I see.
La llama visto chanaga imecha tonmicha. Uno bongo wa uni kupa tontikak makitugi. Shisakawa kyota bubanda baki wanki.
People should think twice about pushing you around now, right?
Kava tuka amishka, kaba no tasma watila. Mo kila mo klunki, nyat, an bumpa borsuda. Bedwana urbi kila wato banki, donko potokanoda.
What's so special about this little gadget anyway?
Mana ache noka. Kuka du choski na wakuchusa, yo makta chi pompota.
It's obviously something you put a lot of care into.
Tuntazuza nerko, higata loya, okata uzazul. Chesko yeskia chananga, bumpa kom chinka. Tantazuza, cheska pakuta, kiska tada wata. Miska takamu.
Sounds like trouble to me.
Hiniki. Wafumare do boto dwana wanki wabata ya tukaroka. Uno bongo wa uni kupa tontikak makitugi.
Hardship has a way of putting things into perspective.
Lokuta new pachirota. La llama visto chanaga imecha tonmicha. Hopo mawanka tuduska udwana wada suka kupa. Funta hasa.
This is the way to do it. Doing what we want when we want. Ain't nobody gonna say otherwise. Kinda glad I ain't killed you yet.
You still planning to?
When I do you, it's gonna be fun. Don't you worry. Figure I ain't going back to organized crime, now that I got free run of the galaxy. But that don't mean I ain't got pull. Long as I'm running with you, your black son.
When do I get my palace?
You ain't gonna be some Hut Cartel wimp. You want territory? Go take it. All I'm saying is you and yours need something. Black Sun's got your back. Now quit making a fuss before I change my mind.